Those misogynistic women, can rivalry turn into empowerment? As a working woman for many years, I've experienced quite a bit of projected jealousy, strangely enough, most of it coming from other women. I've faced oppression, harsh treatment, and even obsessive imitation, among other things. What puzzles me is that, aside from having a somewhat diverse skill set, which originally made me think it would be my male peers who might be jealous, I really have nothing else that stands out. A term that has helped me make sense of this in recent years is internalized misogyny, see below, from women. This is quite common in certain patriarchal structures. Women are often forced to compete with each other for limited resources, whether it's opportunities for career advancement, potential high-quality partners, or, sometimes absurdly, even attention from others in social settings. In some societies, there's even a term for this: female competition. This confuses me. Years ago, when I first encountered the concept of misogyny, I assumed it was all from men. I believe these women who exhibit misogynistic behavior are, at the root, driven by fear. The fear that other women will take away all available resources, opportunities, men, attention. This is a result of the explicit or implicit asymmetrical patriarchal structures that have long disadvantaged women in resource allocation. Sadly, many of these women don't realize this. If they did, they wouldn't resent or envy other women. Ideally, they would unite to fight injustice and strive for their rightful interests. Unfortunately, the reality is that feminist progress is still slow, and there are all kinds of obstacles along the way. For example, in some patriarchal societies, there's a derogatory term, pastoral feminism, partially describing women who exploit feminist rhetoric for personal gain. These women seem to be opportunists with an unknowing or purposeful misunderstanding of feminism, and what they do certainly doesn't help with some well-intentioned feminist agendas. There are also men who, fearing the loss of their vested interests, attack feminism, sometimes with the help of women, who, regrettably, are no different from traitors. There are also inappropriate female personalities that, when displayed publicly, lead to misunderstanding or stigmatization of feminist agendas, and so on. Here, I want to insert a well-established premise: regaining women's rights benefits both genders. On this basis, I believe that the world is not suffering from an excess of feminism. On the contrary, we want more effective feminist agendas, we want more relatable and widely accepted feminist role models, and we want to channel jealousy toward other women into positive motivation. We want to stop building our own success on the oppression of other women. And we want to take a long-term strategic view, putting ourselves on the path that can't fail you in the long run, rather than destructive rivalry. The following is AI response. Internalized misogyny is a phenomenon where women adopt and act upon sexist ideas and beliefs about women, often unconsciously, that are prevalent in a patriarchal society. It's a form of internalized oppression, where individuals from a marginalized group begin to believe and perpetuate the negative stereotypes and limitations placed upon them by the dominant group. Essentially, it's the hatred of, contempt for, or prejudice against women or girls that women turn inward towards themselves or express towards other women. Here's a breakdown of what that means and how it manifests. Key characteristics and manifestations. Self-devaluation. Women may internalize the idea that they are less capable, intelligent, or valuable than men. This can lead to lower self-esteem, self-doubt, and a reluctance to assert themselves or pursue leadership roles. Devaluation. Distrust of other women. "I'm not like other girls." This common phrase reflects a desire to distance oneself from stereotypical, feminine, traits that are often devalued, implying that other girls are somehow inferior. Competition among women. Internalized misogyny can fuel rivalry and a scarcity mindset among women, where they see other women as competitors for male attention, jobs, or opportunities. Judging and shaming other women. This can include slut-shaming, victim-blaming, criticizing physical appearance, or dismissing women's achievements. Preferring male leadership or company. Some women might genuinely believe men are more rational or competent leaders and prefer to work for or socialize primarily with men. Adherence to restrictive gender roles. Even subconsciously, women might feel pressure to conform to traditional expectations of femininity, such as being nurturing, passive, focused on appearance, or prioritizing domestic roles over career ambitions. Suppression of self-expression. Girls and women may learn to be less assertive, quiet their opinions, or hide their intelligence to be perceived as more likable or attractive. Body image issues and objectification. Internalized misogyny can contribute to negative body image, disordered eating, and the tendency for women to self-objectify, constantly scrutinizing their appearance based on societal beauty standards set by a male gaze. Impact of internalized misogyny. Mental health can lead to anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and psychological distress. Relationships can damage female friendships, foster mistrust, and create unhealthy dynamics in romantic relationships. Career and professional life can hinder career advancement, lead to self-sabotage, and contribute to women not advocating for themselves in the workplace. Perpetuates patriarchy. By women internalizing and acting on misogynistic beliefs, they inadvertently reinforce the patriarchal system that oppresses them. It diverts women's energy from opposing systemic sexism to fighting among themselves. How it develops. Internalized misogyny is learned through societal conditioning from a very young age. This includes media portrayal. Constant exposure to media that devalues women, portrays them in stereotypical roles, or hypersexualizes them. Cultural norms and traditions. Messages from family, community, and institutions that reinforce gender hierarchies. Direct and subtle messages. Being told not to be bossy, being praised for being nice and quiet, or witnessing women being belittled. Overcoming internalized misogyny. Overcoming internalized misogyny is a process of unlearning deeply ingrained beliefs. It involves awareness and recognition, identifying your own internalized misogynistic thoughts and behaviors. Critical thinking, questioning societal norms and media messages about women. Building solidarity with other women, actively supporting, listening to, and empowering other women. Recognizing shared experiences rather than fostering competition. Challenging self-limiting beliefs. Consciously working to value your own capabilities and worth, independent of external validation or male approval. Seeking diverse perspectives. Reading and listening to content created by and about women, especially those from diverse backgrounds. Therapy or support groups. For deeper issues, professional help can be beneficial. Internalized misogyny is a complex and often subconscious issue, but recognizing its presence is the first crucial step towards dismantling it and fostering genuine empowerment for all women. Thank you for listening to this article.
If you find this inspiring, please subscribe to support my writing. Thank you.